Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And we have another example of not joined up thinking by the SNP. They've come up with this wonderful wheeze of putting cameras all over the city of Glasgow just to catch people who can't afford a new car. And to this end, they've put in the cameras, they've connected it all up to a database. They, for the first 5 days, couldn't even fine you because they couldn't operate the system properly. They've finally got that right, and they've found out that there's a very slight flaw. If you're driving a German car or a French car or a Lithuanian car, or even an Irish car, and I mean both south of Ireland and also Northern Ireland, the system won't fine you. It doesn't recognise your plates, it hasn't got access to foreign databases, and what's very weird is it doesn't have access to the Northern Irish database, which is part of the United Kingdom. But you know, that would take thinking, wouldn't it? That would take, how do we make sure that foreign drivers can get fined? I know, we connect to foreign databases. The trouble is the foreign databases are just that. They're foreign, and these authorities won't let them have access. So all you need to do is get on a ferry, drive across to Ireland, buy a car, come back, ta-da! And you can drive around in Glasgow as much as you like without ever having to worry about a fine, because the SNP are morons. We'll take a look at this story and find out how moronic they are. A lot. So, more low emission zone embarrassment for the SNP-led Glasgow City Council as cameras can't track foreign drivers, including the Irish. The controversial scheme's cameras are linked to a database for British registered cars, meaning foreign drivers can enjoy the city centre without being fined, because of course they can. Foreign drivers visiting Glasgow will enjoy an exemption from Glasgow's low emission zone. A loophole will allow them to escape being fined for entering the city centre. The controversial scheme came into effect on Thursday, issuing £50 or £60 fines, to drivers of petrol cars registered before 2006 and diesel motors before 2015. So if you're not in a position to afford a new car, or at least a newer car, then you are screwed. This is effectively building up to get those 15-minute ghettos in place so that they can control the masses and keep them definitely in their place, so that the elites can travel without all the oiks, taking up space. To work effectively, the scheme's ANPR cameras are linked to an extensive database on car ownership held by the DVLA in Swansea. However, it is not possible to access the records of other countries, including Ireland, which makes enforcement impossible. Some of the first beneficiaries of this loophole could be the drivers of older cars from the Emerald Isle visiting Glasgow for Saturday's Scottish Cup final between Celtic and Inverness Cali. Come on, Invy. German tourist Damien Cania is on a 2-week tour of Scotland with his wife, Tina, 51, and their 3 children in their 2013 VW diesel people carrier. They found themselves on a shopping trip in Glasgow city centre last Thursday, the first day the scheme has been enforced for ordinary drivers. And of course there we can see the plate, German plate. He's absolutely fine. Nothing can happen to him because, of course, they can't access the German database. And this is the mental capacity of these people. They don't think of things like this. Damien, 49 from Munich, said, "We are staying outside the city near Loch Lomond, but decided that it would be easier to come in by train. I had no idea this scheme has been introduced, and our car is 2 years older than the minimum allowed." He said, "I'm not surprised to hear that foreign drivers are excluded from the scheme. It would be too difficult to access information from all the other countries." No, it wouldn't be too difficult. Accessing a database is very, very simple. You just need a portal into the database. It's getting the permission to do it and then the cost of doing it, because these countries don't want just anybody accessing private information by foreigners. And so it's the permission. The actual ability is very, very simple. But they won't do it, will they? Because this is the SNP and they don't know how to do joined up thinking. And of course now, anyone who gets caught by these cameras has got an out. Anyway, he continued, "We have a similar scheme in Munich, but it is not strict. When the second phase comes into effect soon, we won't be able to take our car into the city centre. Glasgow does seem to be ahead of most cities, I think behind. because Glasgow already has clean air, doesn't actually need this system. This has got nothing to do with air quality, like I say, it is all to do with control. Planning a 4-day trip to Edinburgh this coming week, he said he was relieved to hear the capital won't reduce its low emission zone until next year. But the loophole also means owners of foreign registered vehicles living in Scotland will be able to dodge running up fines, which can extend to hundreds of pounds a month. A spokesman for Glasgow City Council said all vehicles coming into Glasgow's low emission zone are legally required to meet emission standards. That's not true. That is a lie. However, the low emission zone enforcement camera system cannot access emission standard information from foreign registered vehicles. It has got nothing to do with emissions. It has zero issue with emissions. It's all to do with the age of the car. They have got no in London. They do it by the emissions of the car. Doesn't matter how old your car is, provided it falls under the emission standard. In Glasgow, they've done it by the age of the car. Now they're saying it's emissions. Bull, absolute BS. It is the age of the car and the age of the car only. You can drive you can do it. You can drive a 12 cylinder 6.6 litre Rolls Royce through the centre of Glasgow, and provided it's new, it's perfectly acceptable. You can drive a 1 litre Vauxhall Corsa, but because it's a day over the date, it's illegal. Nothing to do with emissions, everything to do with poverty. They don't want poor people in the city centre, and it's as simple as that. Bullshit about all that, oh god, emissions, my arse. Anyway, it doesn't work. It's completely done. But anyway, I said that there was an out. I will come to that when I come up, but it is an interesting little out, possibly. Don't know, couldn't test it. I'm not a lawyer, but there's a possible out. Anyway, I shall come up and finish off. Now, I mentioned that there's a possible out if you get a fine now on this Glasgow scheme. Now, I don't have the necessary legal knowledge. I'm not entirely sure. That's why I'm describing it as a possible out. Perhaps if one of my wiser, more learned viewers would venture a professional opinion, it would be very appreciated. But surely the 2010 Equality Act must come in here. If you are inventing a rule, as a government, you invent a rule and bring in a law which is not universally applied. It doesn't apply to everybody, and it's targeted only at one specific group. Surely that breaks the 2010 Equality Act. If you have a law that cannot be applied universally, or effectively universally, but there are certain exceptions based on a protected characteristic, in this case nationality, then surely that's illegal. And if you can drive a foreign car and not get fined, because you're French or German or Irish, whereas a British citizen going into that city centre will get fined, then that has got to be in contravention of the 2010 Equality Act. Surely. Perhaps one of my more learned viewers, like I say, will offer a professional opinion on that. I think it'd be very, very interesting to see if that is indeed the case. And if that is the case, then this whole low emission zone thing is just dead in the water, isn't it? Until they can access all the foreign databases, it breaches the law. Anyway, I do hope so. We shall wait and see on that one. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see on the channel, please hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. Definitely leave a comment. I want to know about that rule, and also leave a like because that really helps with the algorithm. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, don't test that law until we know, and goodbye.